I'm in the 2024 redesigned Subaru Impreza. This is the new RS trim with the larger engine. At $31,000, is this top-of-the-line Impreza the best in segment? And is it worth the price jump as well compared to the last gen? Let's find out. Let's start with the exterior, because the exterior in this car, especially with this Oasis Blue, it's eye-catching for sure. I wouldn't say it's like stunning or gorgeous, but it's not a bad looking design. I would just say it's pretty average. Now, one thing you'll notice that it is a hatchback. All Imprezas now are hatchbacks. They discontinued the sedan. But if you want a sedan in the Subaru lineup, there's still the old and reliable legacy, right? The RS trim gives you like a glossy black grille as well as other glossy black aspects to it. But getting this in a fun color is what it's all about. And I really enjoy the presence of it in the Oasis Blue. We'll get into driving impressions and acceleration here in a little bit, but let's cut back to Kirk at the house, who's going to go over the interior for you. In the back of our Oasis Blue Pearl, we don't have an automated liftgate here, which is fine. I guess that keeps the price down a little bit. We do have shocks on each side, which is nice. Now we have nearly 20 cubic feet of space back here. It was very easy picking up groceries. Like, this floor sits super low down here. Now if I lift this up, we have a fix-a-flat kit. Hate to break it to you guys, there's your jack and your fix-a-flat kit. No spare tire here on this RS model. We do have this tonneau cover here, and of course you can fold down the seats 60/40 and have a nice flat floor as well. And I appreciate how good these doors feel when you close them. They have a very satisfying click with the handle. They fit really nicely. I've been taking my kids to school in here. They've been having a good experience. The seat is pretty low to the ground. It is, when you get in and out of the vehicle, like, the ground is really, really low. So this car sits very low to the ground, and that might be a concern for you guys. Like, I keep thinking that the floor should be lower when I step out of here. Okay, pretty basic materials back here, just a solid plastic door panel. We have reddish orange stitching here on the armrest, and we have cloth back seats here, which is fine. Speaking of which, I do have a lot of legroom, surprisingly, for this little hatchback. We have a mat pocket here over on this side, and these are illuminated at night, like I'll mention here a little bit when I'm driving. We have no vents, but at least we have USBs. If you look at the headroom, it's at 6'1", I actually have some headroom here, maybe not to the side that much, but you can see how this slopes up to allow heads to kind of slink into the roofline a bit. Now, if I fold this down, yeah, we actually have some cup holders back here. We get into the front here, we don't have any faux leather or anything. Again, cloth, but at least we have this cool red and black design with this gray insert in the middle. They are power here on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. We have a leather wrapped steering wheel, which is unique, I believe, to this RS grade. The stitching in here looks amazing. And we do have cloth here on the top of the door, unlike the back door. Unfortunately, my knee comes into contact with this plastic piece here, which is not the most comfortable. And we do have a nice leather armrest here as well. You see that Harman Kardon sound system. It actually sounds pretty good in here. We have aluminum pedals and an RS mat as well, a bunch of empty dials here. Let's go ahead and get in. Paddle shifters here so you can row through your fake gears with the CVT. We have a very traditional analog gauge setup. I've been getting about 24 miles per gallon, by the way, 24, 25, which is not best in class by any means. But the traditional dials make me happy. I just wish this little MID was updated. It looks about 10 years old at this point. What doesn't look 10 years old is my center screen here, my 11-inch Starlink, and I always get it confused with Skylink. It does have some lag to it at times, but to be honest, it is, yeah, there you go, there's that lag I'm talking about. But most of the time it's pretty snappy, especially when you're in the radio. Android Auto I actually really like in here. The verticality of it makes it more usable than a lot of wide screens out there. And you also have your radio stations at the top, as well as other information that you can switch between. We still have your traditional volume and tuning knob, but all your climate controls right here at the bottom. And you can pull this up. I haven't found it that big of a deal, to be honest, because you can just control your automatic climate control with these buttons here. Subaru actually gives us a customizable options here built into the touchscreen. And you might think, great, I can turn off auto start stop, and I can also turn on auto vehicle hold. Unfortunately, when you turn the vehicle off, it goes back to this setting right here, which is the default. So it doesn't remember it, and that is just unfortunate because they give us such good access to customize but it doesn't matter because it just forgets when you turn the car off. We have an old school aux, that's great to see, USB-C and a USB-A, very brightly illuminated wireless charger port down here. The shift boot here I believe is leather as well. I like the stitching on it, and we have heated seats in this model. This does have the all-weather package. The EyeSight safety in here is excellent with the steering assist as well as a radar cruise control. I really appreciate that. And then here's your sport mode button, and then I mode, well, like that, I just say that this is sport mode and this is standard mode, but they call it S and I drive, SI drive, whatever. This also has the optional sunroof. Yes, it's optional. It's not standard here on the RS grade. And we don't have an auto dimming rearview mirror. It is big and I can see out the back very well, but yeah, this thing is, yeah, at least I can dim it manually. Dash is interesting because it's a mix between soft and hard touch. This is all hard touch here. This part is soft, but it goes back to hard touch here. And this is hard and that's hard. At nighttime, the backup camera does look fairly bright, a little grainy, but totally acceptable. And the screen actually at night looks better than I thought it would. It looks sharper and clearer than it does during the day. We have a very bright light that shines down on the wireless charger. Great illumination here on the gauge cluster as well. And I just noticed now that there's an RS logo on the gauge cluster in the speedometer, which is pretty cool. We have red illumination on the window switches and locks, as well as the drive and the heated seats. But on the steering wheel, we don't have red, we have a nice white glow. Other than that, there is no ambient light in here. Not even the footwells or like cup holder area in the on the door panels or even in the back seat. Other than the USBs in the back seat as well as down here below are illuminated at night, which is quite handy. Speaking of handy, with this larger window, with it being foggy out, it's great to have a rear wiper to clear things away as well. Underneath the hood, a 2.5 liter Boxer, 4-cylinder, mated to the CVT. This is the big upgrade for the RS because the base engine is a 2 liter with around 150 horsepower. I'll be able to tell you if this engine upgrade is worth it. It only gives around 30 more horsepower, but maybe it can give us some performance that is quite surprising. That U-turn was super easy here. First 0 to 60, and a torque brake. Goes to about 2200 RPM. It'll launch as well with the all-wheel drive, and then there's this kind of lull before it gets to, you know, peak RPMs here. There's 0 to 60 in roughly 8 seconds, 7.97. That was just in normal mode. Next is sport mode. Didn't rev any higher there in sport mode. I feel like there's even a greater lull and uncertainty in the mapping there. And yeah, 0 to 60 in 8.34. So there's no point of putting it into S drive or SI drive if you go by what this is saying. So no point in that. Just keep it in normal mode for the best acceleration. It was like 0.4 of a second quicker in just standard mode. As I'm sitting here at the stoplight, there's not a lot for me to do, but I am playing with the seat, and it is power, but it's optional power. You have to get it in a package, even on this top of the line RS trim. It does give me lumbar support, but the seat over here, like I said, is completely manual. That's a nice GTR. Now we're gonna gun it off the line here so we can talk about its performance. I already showed you the 0 to 60, but great initial response, and then it just like kind of stumbles and trips on itself, as you guys saw in the 0 to 60. But it pins itself. Gosh, you would think you're going way faster, but I didn't even get to 60 there. It pins it around like 5,800 RPM and just holds it there. You gotta love CVTs. But hey, all-wheel drive standard on the Impreza is what it's all about. And honestly, I'll be upfront with you guys. The RS is not worth it. This 2.5 liter, there's nothing in it. So it might as well just stick with the base engine, which is gonna cost around 25 grand for the base model, which is like a 3 or 4 grand increase compared to last year's model, which is crazy. It does give you better safety features and other technology, but that is still a huge jump. Also, I do have blind spot monitor in here, which is great, but I believe it's only on the RS trim unless it's available on a package on a lower trim. But let's get into the good stuff about this RS. Super smooth out on the streets, very comfortable, hardly any road noise. I feel like it would probably do really well against its competitors in the road noise compartment or department compared to, let's say, the Elantra or the Corolla or the Civic. I think it has them all beat in terms of overall just daily driving and comfort. So check mark there. In terms of handling, well, stopped at a stoplight, but it does feel really good in the turns. Like I mentioned before, when you step out the door, like you expect to step down and your foot's already at ground level. So it does handle real well. Also, you have the low center of gravity nature of the Boxer engine in here. So I love throwing this thing in the turns, and having that power go through all wheels when you accelerate out is a lot of fun and not really seen in the segment either. Visibility in here is also really good for a compact sedan, even though like it seems bigger than most of its competitors out there, especially in that rear seat. I can't say that enough, how impressed I was with the rear seat legroom in here compared to like a Corolla hatchback, which there's none, or the Elantra is pretty small too. What about if I need power when I'm going already up to speed at 50 miles an hour, pedal down? You're waiting, and then it takes off. So it is smooth, I'll give it that. It's just not the most responsive powertrain either. Now the RS does have improved rigidity compared to the lesser models from my understanding. But like this really reminds me a lot of the WRX that I drove. It has just an amazing ride quality to it for its segment, almost luxurious, if not luxurious to be honest. And then it reminds me a lot of the Subaru Forester Wilderness, which had amazing just ride quality as well. So Subaru, with this global platform that they have, has done a great job just with everyday comfortability and just maintaining a comfort level in here in terms of road noise and handling the bumps in the road. The steering is great here as well, pretty responsive. But is it worth over $30,000? No, I don't think so. So what would I be doing if I was spending over $30,000 for Subaru? I'd be getting a Forester. I would either be getting a WRX, and yes, I found a WRX in my area, a base model under MSRP for around $30,000, $31,000. That is a complete no-brainer because you get all the performance, better handling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera with that vehicle. Now I know this will have better technology because this is a top trim compared to a base trim, but still, I'd be getting a base WRX compared to this RS Impreza every single time. A Crosstrek probably even provides better value than this, but this handles better. So I'll just be skipping the Crosstrek and this, to be honest. And because there's no manual transmission either on the Impreza, which is sad. I mean, but you can get it on the WRX or get the CVT on the WRX, or you just get the bigger, more practical Forester. Man, the braking is very smooth in here, very predictable. I do like the brakes overall. And there's very little pitch and dive going on. It feels like a very long vehicle, even though it's a compact. But the fuel economy on here is pretty bad, and there's a start-stop feature, which again turns back on every time you restart the car, which is unfortunate, even though you have a quick access button to it. So, and sometimes the CVT, when you're keeping up with traffic, after you get an initial response, it just kind of washes out. Okay, based off the fuel economy and the performance here, based off its competitors, I'd be getting a Corolla hybrid over this. And save some money. I'd be getting a Civic Si, which, gosh, this versus a Civic Si, I know they're kind of in the same segment. No brainer Civic Si. It handles better. It's more fun with the manual transmission. It's way faster, not way faster, but noticeably faster. So yeah, I'd be going the Civic Si, or you could be going the sport touring route on the Civic, because that is a, you can get that in a manual as well, or a CVT, and you get that in the hatchback. So the RS is just not worth it in my opinion. I know it kind of looks cool, but the performance is not there. It's all show and no go. So might as well just save the money and get a base Impreza for around 25K, or get a WRX, or it's more efficient or fun to drive competitors out there. But it's an amazing car overall. It's very well rounded. It's just, it's gotten expensive at this point. And the only thing that really trips me up in here is the customizable switches in here that reset every time you start the car back up. But sound system's good in here, visibility's good, road manners are really good. Safety is really good in here. So overall, the RS is a good vehicle, just not at its price point when it's competition, or even competition from its own lineup like the WRX is better. It's a better buy, but definitely stay tuned for more Subaru videos like this if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Signing out from the new 2024 Impreza RS. I guess RS in this case would stand for really safe, which is not really fun. All right, have a great day and peace.